I'd like to invite you all to stand for the opening prayer and pledge.
Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Thy will be done. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting of the Hancock County Commission Thursday, February 13th, 2020, 2:30 p.m. to order. Roll call.
Mr. President, all Hancock County Commissioners are present.
Okay, first order of business is the approval of commission meeting minutes from January 23rd. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Questions? Comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. We have two presentations today. We could flip a coin, but I asked the young ladies and they're willing to listen. So, Ms. Jennifer Rohrig from the U.S. Census will speak to us on the 2020 census. Jennifer?
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Commission the opportunity to address you all today, and also to thank them for their unwavering support since the beginning. I know you were one of the first counties that my counterparts reached out to before I was on board, and so we're honored to have your help with the upcoming 2020 census. And last time I spoke to you, it seemed so far away, and now we are in 2020, and we are less than a month away from the general population receiving their invitation to respond. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to update you and just to remind you how important and critical it is that we get a complete and accurate count in 2020. And just for a quick civics reminder for all of you, if you're ever on Jeopardy and you win because of this answer, I expect you to find me and split it with me. But the first census was conducted in 1790 under then President George Washington and Secretary of State Thomas Jefferson. And it's something we've done every decade since. And it's really, when you think about it, an opportunity for us to be a part of history, to stand up and say, we count in Hancock County and we count in West Virginia. Many people know it is a population count, but what they don't realize is that it determines our apportionment in Congress. So West Virginia's number of representatives in the House is determined based on census data. It also determines things like voting precincts, school districts. It's the gold standard in data. So when a business or an organization is looking at relocating or building a new location, they're going to pull census data to see if that location matches their needs, demographically and by population count. What a lot of people don't realize, even more importantly, is that there is over $675 billion in federal funding that's distributed annually based on census data. That number to me is almost incomprehensible, but I can assure you it goes toward programs that people in our community use and depend on every single day. These are programs like SNAP, WIC, Medicaid, Medicare, foster care, the National School Lunch Program, Title I funding, first responders, hospitals. We're all from West Virginia, so we all like to complain about the roads, right? That's what we do as West Virginians. And census data goes toward things like fixing roads, bridges, and infrastructure. So it literally affects every single one of us. And what I think is most important is this is our one shot to get it right for the next 10 years. Next time we do this, it'll be 2030. It's kind of hard to imagine what we'll all be doing then, but whoever is in our seats, maybe it'll be us, maybe it'll be someone different, but they'll be looking to see what we did and what efforts we put forth to make sure that we get a complete and accurate count. As you can imagine, the Census Bureau is no stranger to the barriers that come with trying to count the entire population of a country and its territories. There's an information explosion. Think about when you leave here, all of the missed text messages you'll have, the missed emails, potentially phone calls, just the information you'll receive in this meeting alone. So we're competing with a lot of different sources to get our message and to get our information across. We're a much more mobile population than we were even 10 years ago, and our living arrangements are much more complex, especially in West Virginia. There's also distrust and fear. You know, anytime someone asks you for personal information, there's kind of that knee-jerk reaction, like, what do they want it for? What are they going to do with it? But I'm here to let you know that your information is totally confidential and secure. Under Title 13, every single person in the Census Bureau takes a lifetime oath that we will never disclose your personally identifiable information, and that's punishable by up to 5 years in jail and/or $250,000. So I always tell people I don't have the time or the money. I promise your secret is safe with me, but it's critical that people know their information cannot be given to any kind of law enforcement agency, to any kind of government agency or court. It's completely confidential, and if people don't recognize that, you know, they might be fearful in filling out their census. So it's important that you all, as trusted and local voices, help us share that message. Now, since I met with you all last, we have begun the census. It began in Tooksuk Bay, Alaska on January 21st. We had to get to some of the most remote parts because they're only accessible by helicopter. We have to get there before the ground thaws. So you think about where we started in 1790, going around on foot and horseback, and in some ways we're not all that far. We're still, you know, dependent upon the weather to get to where we need to be. As I mentioned, the general population will receive their invitation to respond on around March 12th. In 2020, you can respond by mail, but you'll also be able to respond by telephone and online. So we're making a concerted effort to really meet people where they are. And again, that goes back to being a technological society, being a mobile society, and it should take about 10 minutes. So they say, you know, you can do it while you're drinking your morning coffee. I'm a Diet Coke drinker, so I'll do it while I'm drinking my morning Diet Coke. But it's really something that doesn't take a lot of time, but the impact is so critical. I mentioned the funding, and I just want to point out that for every single person we miss, that's funding we miss for 10 years. And we have a lot of hard-to-count populations. Groups like children, veterans, the elderly, persons experiencing homelessness, all present their own difficulties in counting them. And children especially are frightening because if we miss a child when they're 4 in 2020, we miss 10 years of funding and representation. That child will be 14 by the time we get the opportunity to count them again. So the implications of what we do here today are long-lasting. And again, I want to thank the Commission for their support. We're looking for partnerships in and around the county, any of those local trusted voices that are help us able to spread the word on why the 2020 census is so important. I'm more than happy and willing to work with them to have them help us get our message out. So thank you for the opportunity to be here today, and I look forward to working with you. April 1st is Federal Census Day, so you'll be able to fill out your census beginning in March. You'll have until the end of April to self-respond, and then after that you will open your, so we do follow up in person, so you may get that knock on your door from someone from the Census Bureau to help you respond in person. And we'll be sending out more information about that so that people know how they can recognize employees of the Census Bureau and they feel safe and comfortable responding as well. So thank you for the time today. I appreciate it, and I look forward to getting a complete and accurate count in Hancock County. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you bring us a banner of any sort? Again?
I've got water bottles for you.
I figured that we could stand them on the table here.
Yeah, I know. I haven't even get a banner yet, but.
We'd be willing to advertise. I've been going around seeing a lot of Census 2020.
Good.
Just in Charleston, it was hanging in the motel.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
okay. Thank you very much. Okay. And our next, we have a little presentation to make that the election office has delegated their duty to me. So I'm going to invite Sarah and Olivia up here. And along with these two young ladies is their sponsor, Mr. Thompson. We'll let them have the. So we all know that voting is important, just as important as the census. The Jennings Randolph Award Program, now in its 26th year, is an effort by the Secretary of State's office to encourage students to discuss the importance of civic engagement and to register to vote. It is named for the late U.S. Senator Jennings Randolph, a West Virginia native who sponsored the 26th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which reduced the voting age from 21 to 18. Those high schools which register at least 85% of their eligible students are honored with the award for their efforts. The Jennings Randolph Award Gold Level is given to West Virginia high schools that register 100% of eligible students. Schools which have registered at least 85% and qualified for the silver level have until May 1 to earn the gold. As part of the Jennings Randolph Award program, schools which qualify are also eligible to nominate up to 2 members of their student body for the Honorary Secretary of State recognition. Students who receive this honor are invited to attend a day at the legislature. The Honorary Secretary of State list will be released later during the session. Well, with us, we have 2 of those students that were honored with this award, and they did spend their day with the Secretary of State, which was Monday. And we're happy to announce that they registered 100% of the students at Weir High School. I will ask one of you guys to comment or state the amount of students eligible, and who got it? Who's first?
We registered 187 students to vote, and 153 of them, I believe, were seniors.
So we thank you for that. And with that said, Mr. Thompson, do you need to add anything? I know you're proud of them.
I'm very proud of them. They worked very hard in getting it 100% accomplished, and they were able to do it all. And I think we got everybody in 2 days registered to vote. And it's the first time that Hancock County Schools, Weir High, has ever achieved 100%.
Okay. So with that said, we have these little certificate of achievements that we would like to present to you too. And if anybody wants to take a picture, we'll gladly move out of the way. Jeannie from our election office, who opted not to say anything, is beaming with pride over this achievement by you guys, and her goal is to get to all 3 high schools here next year.
Thank you so much. The Secretary of State would also let me know that they'll be coming the 3rd week in March. He hasn't given us the exact date yet, but it will be sometime during the 3rd week in March to present the plaque for the school if the county commissioners would like to join us.
Okay, correspondence. Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church requesting ad sponsorship for the 34th Annual Grecian Food Festival. I make a motion that we make this letter a matter of record.
So moved.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Gentlemen, we have an item on the table that can be removed. Is there a motion to remove the tabled item?
I move that we bring the tabled item off the table.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. So that tabled item is a consideration to approve an appointment to the Hancock County PSD. We couldn't do this last week because we had one more interview to conduct, and we have since been able to do that. Gentlemen, do we have a nomination?
I move that we appoint Will Allison to serve on the Hancock County PSD Board. He will be serving for the rest of the unexpired term for William Makel.
Questions? All those in favor of Will Allison?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. New business, consideration of approval to reappoint Bill Visnick to the BHJ Metropolitan Planning Commission as a community at-large representative. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
I also attend the BHJ, and I could say that Mr. Visnick is a board member that does attend and does participate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Recently, we were asked to provide a donation to Montani Semper Liberi Music Arts at Oakland High School. Is there any recommendation to provide a donation through Hancock County Parks and Recreation money?
I move that we give the organization $5,000.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Consideration to approve a candidate to the Home Consortium Board. We had this advertised, we didn't receive anybody. Kind of did a little bit of recruiting, and through the United Bank, a request from the Home Consortium Board was for someone that had experience in mortgaging. So kind of went to a couple banks and asked them if they could nominate somebody or ask somebody if they would like to serve. And with that said, we have a lady named Greta Swan. She's the Vice President Mortgage Originator from the United Bank, and she has agreed to accept this position. It expires in June of 2020, and so when I spoke with her, I said, if you feel that you're not comfortable there, it's just 2 meetings, and then you can refuse, and if you like it, we'd be more than glad to reappoint you. So I'd like to make a motion that we accept Greta Swan to serve as our Home Consortium Board representative for the Northern Panhandle.
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Consideration of approval of authorization for full settlement authority for the opioid litigation. What this is, we have the Fitzsimmons Law Firm representing us in the opioid case. There's a case nationally, and they are also attempting to have this case heard in West Virginia, and we have agreed to go with that route, and they have asked for permission to be our voice there without having to come back and present with what their findings are to be. So with that said, is there a motion to approve this authorization for full settlement?
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Mr. Barnaby, if I can just expand on that a little bit. What happens in a lot of those situations is that there's a lot of back and forth, there's a negotiation, and the office will know what your parameters are, you as the county as the client, and so they don't need to come back with every little offer. That's just to make that clear, that it's not that the county's being kept in the dark at all, it's just that they understand that you've already communicated what the boundaries are, and they can carry that forward without every little offer and acceptance or rejection.
Did we vote? Yes. We did? Okay. Technology and communication, consideration to approve the resignation of Andrew Locke from full-time dispatcher effective February 1, 2020. Motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 2, consideration of approval to pay Andrew Locke for his unused personal time.
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Consideration to approve to hire Ashley Miller and Christina Jenkins as part-time dispatchers effective February 16, 2020. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
All their paperwork will be sufficient for the payroll clerk,
Yes.
and their salary will go back to the original salary as starting employees for 911.
For these two, yeah. Original starting.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Consideration of approval to hire Emerald Behrens as full-time dispatcher effective February 16, 2020.
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Consideration to approve the resignation of Brian Dillon effective February 15, 2020. Brian is one of our maintenance men.
Move to approve his resignation.
Questions?
Just comment.
Comment?
Brian's a great employee. He's done a good job here, and we wish him well. He's been able to find a job that he's been interested in for some time, so we wish him the very best.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And consideration to approve to pay Brian Dillon his unused vacation and personal time.
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. And then, along with this, consideration of approval to advertise for the position of courthouse maintenance / janitor.
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Consideration to approve to enter a lease agreement with the West Virginia Department of Highways for the parking lot at Magistrates Court. Mr. Rice?
At the Magistrates Court, the Division of Highways owns right-of-way, and part of our parking lot is in that right-of-way. So this is a renewable one-year lease to allow us to use that part of the parking lot for Magistrate Court parking.
Okay.
It's a government lease, $1 a year.
Is that always based on just a one-year time, or will they go further out on those?
I believe it's a 2-year period that's in there, or it might be a 3, so this is an actual renewal. This will be the second one.
Move to approve.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. We received a letter from,
An interested party, his name is Paul Fallon.
Fallon.
And it's on trying to get Senator Manchin to back a bill for net neutrality that's in the Senate right now.
Right. So we are in a process of working with BHJ and a grant to enhance broadband here. And this, from what we understand, is the last mile. That's what they term it. This money is for. We're not ready for the last mile because we're trying to get the middle mile. So we're going to make this, I would make a motion to make this letter a matter of record until further notice. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. And we have the consideration to approve to advertise for a part-time field deputy for the assessor's office.
Move to
There.
approve.
That's a replacement for, unfortunately, and it should say consideration to advertise and to hire, but not just advertise.
I'd like to amend the motion to include advertise for the part-time position and also hire.
Joe, would this be necessary for us to approve the hire, or is
I
it?
suppose.
Okay, and that's out of your 2% line. It could go either way.
I mean, some people think it's unnecessary because I'm paying on my budget, but it's only just try to keep it.
We're just approving the hiring.
Sure.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. County clerk. Go through as is on here, correct? Okay, need a motion to approve to appoint George Ash, and I think that means senior instead of junior. I think that might be an error
I
there.
don't even know if I put junior in my letter.
It's in junior in the
Yes,
letter
it is
also.
junior. Senior.
Senior.
It is senior? Okay, to appoint George Ash Senior and Heather Campbell as ballot commissioners for the May 12th, 2020 primary election. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Need a motion of approval to appoint Joe Ellen Kessel and Stephanie Wabels as emergency absentee ballot commissioners for the May 12th, 2020 primary election. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. And consideration to approve to appoint Karen Valenti and Valerie Truax as absentee ballot commissioners for the May 12th, 2020 primary election. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. And finally, the approval of poll workers and number 1 commissioners for the May 12th, 2020 primary election. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Sheriff's Department, consideration to approve the purchasing of 3 new vehicles.
I move that the commission, the sheriff has been before us, obviously, you know, and he's in need of vehicles. I move that we approve $100,000 towards the purchase of these 3 vehicles. The cost will be roughly $77,000 for the 3 vehicles, and that will allow him $24,000 to help towards the equipment needed for him.
Questions? Comments? Sheriff?
Yeah, that's basically what we're looking for
Okay.
at this time.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Must have that, 2 pages. All right, finance. Approval of probates and estates. We have 25 probates and 21 estates.
Yeah, they have been reviewed and are recommended for approval as to form.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Approval of exoneration orders. We have 7. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Okay, so we have 3 county commission travel bills. I will excuse myself first. Mr. Cowie?
Commissioner Barnaby's travel reimbursement is $235.75.
I move that we approve the travel for Commissioner Barnaby.
No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2 in favor. Pass to the second.
Who would like to go next?
I will have to. If this has a matter of my personal travels, I will also recuse myself.
Did he support my travel?
Yes. Commissioner Cowie's travel reimbursement is $254.15.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0 with 1 recused.
Mr. Cow?
Mr. Davis.
I also have travel, so being it's a personal matter that deals with the reimbursement, I need to recuse myself from the meeting.
Commissioner Davis's is $510.75.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0, 1 recused. Okay, Animal Shelter Levy Fund bills and requisitions.
You need to go back to D, please.
General county bills.
Okay. General county is $118,167.58. P-card payments, $98,954.44. January expenditures, all funds, $1,208,610.88.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Questions?
I do have a question. In regards to the P card, Karen, the 98,000, that was P cards for
It's all funds. Yes.
for all the funds. Are you able to calculate for us what our earnings are on that P card?
With the old program, we were averaging 10,000 a quarter, so 40,000 a year. They just switched last year, so we've seen a slight increase because the rewards program changed a little bit. I think the last one came in just under 15. So it's gone up a little.
Okay.
I can get you exact numbers.
I just wanted to see if we also received the increase on it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we have.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Animal shelter levy fund bills and requisitions.
They're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Library levy fund bills and requisitions.
All 3 libraries submitted, and they are good to go.
Move to approve.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. And sheltered workshop levy fund bills and requisitions.
They are okay to pay.
Questions? Need a motion first.
All in favor? I make a motion that we accept that.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Go to the order. Goes this way this time.
Nothing
Karen?
today.
Mr. Lucas.
Nothing today.
Mr. Vitus.
Nothing for me today.
Carol?
No real updates today. The only thing new we're working with right now, I had an opportunity to work with the Teacher Business Leaders of America chapter down at Weir High School. So they want to go to the state competition, so starting to do some things with them and really enjoying them.
Good. Mr. Alonji.
No,
Jeannie?
nothing today.
Jeannie? Jeremy?
Nothing today.
Nothing yet? Mr. Wright?
Well, I just got back from Charleston. The commissioners and I were down there for the annual West Virginia Association of County Officials annual conference. So I just want you to know that these guys up here, it's not just a conference, but they're over there working the legislators at the Capitol. And I know you guys do a lot of that, even when we're not down there for that. But I just appreciate the fact you guys put that kind of effort into it. And the fact that budget talks are upon us has nothing to do with that statement, so.
We didn't take it that way.
Thank you.
20% more out of your budget.
Sheriff?
Happy Valentine's Day to all your spouses and girlfriends, and enjoy the weekend.
Nothing today.
Nothing today. Mr. Cowie?
Just want to say that we really had a good time down at the West Virginia Association of Counties. Several different classes we got a chance to sit under, and legislators that came over and had a chance to talk to us. Governor stopped by and also gave us his information. Wanted to also let people know we had the Leadership Ohio Valley come down for a tour that we met yesterday and took them through the Capitol and to the governor's mansion. Had a real good group of people and really had a good time with them also.
Mr. Davis?
I'll just echo what Mr. Wright and Commissioner Coway said. I would like to thank the Supreme Court. We were able to take the Ohio Valley leadership in and listen to the Supreme Court while in hearing, and the Supreme Court justices came down off the bench at the conclusion of the meeting and talked to the commissioners as well as the group, and spent about 20 minutes talking to us. So that was nice, and appreciate they took the time for that.
Okay, for me, same thing. It was a worthwhile weekend. Like Mr. Wright said, it's not just about getting what's presented to us, it's about what we were doing in between. We had a couple meetings on infrastructure with 2 different groups. What's the third thing? The group, the youth, that's not youth group, the leadership group, Ohio Valley, was very well received in the Capitol, and some of those was their first trip down there, and they were like in awe. And like Mr. Davis says, the Supreme Court, they were allowed to go up when they exited the courtroom and take a seat at the benches, and they all fought for the middle seat, and I knew who was going to get it first because she was aggressive. And it was great to see them sitting there, and they felt great. I'd like to extend my thanks to Jennifer Rohrig for her presentation here. We have met with Jennifer. We did have a group put together. One time we had a real nice collection. Second time it didn't go off as well. And I invited her up to make this presentation with the public and the press. And many thanks to Brian Dillon for his unending work in the courthouse. It's been about a year, I think, a little over. he'll be sorely missed, but I'm sure we can hopefully get a good replacement. I have nothing further there. Does anybody else? Okay, with that said, our next meeting is scheduled for February 27th, 2:30 in the commission office. With that said, no further business to be conducted. I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you all.